Good evening. I hope you're all fine wherever you are. Today I'll take you through Photoshop, and the main agenda for this tutorial is to show you how to get rid of unwanted objects or how to move objects from where they are. And to begin, I would like to show you first how to open a file and then move on and also show you how to import objects on Photoshop window. So how do you open a file? So you go to file and then you specify your measurements, and also you give it a title, let's say joy, and then your width you're going to use the standard measurement for our tutorials, which is 1080 width, and ensure that it's pixels. Height shall be 720, and show also it's pixels. Then our resolution we're going to choose 72 because it's going to be viewed on the screen, we're not going to print out. Then also the number of colors we're going to use, we shall be 16. We're not going to choose matte colors. Our background shall have color, and I will choose this color for our background and click OK. So once you have you're done with the measurements, this is how now your page would look like on Photoshop. Then I should show you how to import photos. We have three ways of importing photos to our Photoshop window. The first way is you go to File, Open, and then you locate your photos where they are, like if they are on the desktop, and then you should identify where the photos are. So for instance, I'm going to pick these photos. We have the first one already imported. And then the other second way, you also go to File, and then you place embedded. So also take note of how these images appear on the screen. So the first way has just appeared on a different file, not on the file that I opened before. And then our second way of placing embed is this option here. So again, take note of where this photo is going to appear. It's going to appear on the same file that we had before. So you can either move around, you can you can, let's say you can resize if it's big, or you can just leave it the way it is, and maybe it will be good for you to edit that. The other third way of importing photos to Photoshop window is where you locate your photo where it is. For instance, it's on the desktop, so I can drag this image direct to our window for Photoshop. And then let me open first. Yes. Okay, so it's not active because one of the previous photo is still active. So I have to click enter, or you can use the button up above where you can see like something like there's no, or you do not want any transformation, or you do not want any corrections to be effected on your page. So you can either click this one if you want to cancel the if you want to cancel what you had done before, or you can click OK. You give it an OK, like I'm okay with it, I can go ahead with my editing. For now, I'll just cancel it, and then we can now move on with our third way of importing our photos. So you identify where it is, and then you can now drag direct to where you want that photo to appear, like here. So you can see you also given this option of resizing. You can make it bigger or smaller. You can transform. At times you may not find this active for you, and you want to find your own transformation, or you want to continue editing that photo. So you can still work with the layers to make sure that the layer you are working on is active. So for now, we are not going to use this. We're going to use this image here. And most of the time, I would like to open my files or my photos directly through this file menu, where I go to open, and then I identify my photos, and then opens in a different file. And we should also have the third one. So I also need to open the third one. Why do I use this way? It's because the other two ways of importing photos may affect your editing. Sometimes you may want to use a specific tool, but may not allow you to edit because of how you have imported your photo. So the safe way is you go to File, use the long way, open, and then you open your file, and you now continue editing. Okay, those are the three ways in which you can import your photos into your Photoshop window. So now we can begin editing our photos. So I'm going to show you the three ways or four ways. They can even be more than 4 ways on how to get rid of objects on the background or even on the foreground. So the first way is you use your content aware tool. And how do you work with the content aware tool? So you really need to select first your objects. Like, which selection tool are you going to use? Do you want to use the rectangular marquee tool, the lasso tool, or polygon lasso tool? So it's your choice to use whichever tool you want to. And for now, let's try to use the quick selection tool. So let's select our quick selection tool. Here we have it. Then you can increase the size. If it's too small, you can increase the size so that you move very fast. Then if you find that you have over selected the given areas, you can use the deselection, you can deduct, and you can also add on. So you can deduct, but again, I think the size is too big for us, so we can reduce the size. Okay, I'm doing it on the wrong side. Okay, let me increase again so that these areas are selected where I want to pick the specific areas. And then I'm seeing some areas also I have overstretched, so I can reduce again my selection. Now this tool, it requires your patience for you to really get what you want. So you need to also be careful on that. Then you can now select your content aware tool. So where do you get your content aware tool? So you go to edit menu. Under the edit menu, you scroll down until you find where it's indicated fill. You click fill and make sure the color adaptation is checked, and also you make sure you are working with the content aware, and then you can click OK. Once you click OK, then this, let's say this tuple you're seeing here will be, can I say evicted, or will be removed from this environment. So this is the first way on, a way that you can get rid of an object. So you can select your, let's say objects or your photos, and then you go to edit menu and you click on fill, and here you make sure you have chosen the color adaptation so that it will adapt the color on the background, and you click OK. So once you have done that, you find that there's some spots that are left behind. Sorry for what I have done. So yeah, so Control D to deselect, but now you realize that some areas, or you have some spots, so you can use the spot healing brush to get rid of some spots that were left behind. Use your spot healing brush, like to clear away what was left behind. You can also increase the size of your spot healing brush and increase the size. It may take time. You have also the other tools that you can use, like the clone stamp. I don't think we had some stones behind here, so let me redo. Yeah, we didn't have some stones behind. So what I can also do, or what I can use the healing brush. Like, I want to heal this area to look like this other area here. So the main function for the healing brush is to pick a sample from elsewhere and maybe use it here. So you hold on your Alt key until you see that symbol or that sign for the spot healing brush. Then you can identify that area, and now you can paint. You can drag along this area. Here, it will appear like there was nothing that was removed from here. I can also still use this healing brush and maybe pick this area here. So you hold on your Alt key, you click here, and then you can brush it over, like here. Okay, we have done it again. Just this area only. You can also use your not healing brush, your brush tool. Your brush tool, what you can do is you can pick the color that is closer to what is on the background and try to paint over it. This is not really close. It's somehow bright. So you can choose a dull one. I don't know whether this, okay, this is even worse. But this one may be tricky for you. So you can use the healing brush, you can use the spot healing brush. Let's take a step backward. Let me undo what I have done. Let's use the clone stamp. You can choose this clone stamp. Then you hold on again your Alt key. Click here. Then you can paint over here. You can just rub it against here. So you can see it's applying. I can still hold on the Alt key and maybe try to pick an area here. Then you can apply it here. Yeah, and then again on the lower side or on this other end, we can use our patch tool. You just play around with all these tools and you see what can help you. So I want to maybe try this area like from here till here. I can see some shade that was left behind. Then you just roll it, or you can scroll it on your left hand side or your right hand side. And you can see some spots are also left behind, so you can use the spot healing brush. So you just alter or you just move around with all these brushes, you move around with some of these tools that can help you. You have to open your mind, like what can I use to get rid of maybe some spot which is left behind here. So you can use the spot healing brush, you can use the healing brush. The difference between the spot healing brush and the healing brush is that the spot healing brush will remove some spots, like it will get rid of some spots that you can see in an area, and the healing brush will pick maybe an area like here. I can use my healing brush here, like I can pick this end here. So I hold and maybe pick this area. So when I rub it against here, it's going to apply that here, and it appears like there was no object here. And now this is just a rocky environment. It appears like there was no object here. Still rub it, but it appears like it's somehow dull, so you can still go back to your spot healing brush. Yeah. Or you can also still go back to your patch tool and try to select this area around here. Like it appears somehow not very clear, and then you move it to your right hand side or your left hand side, and I think that now will make your work perfect. So you may not know that there was an object here, although some people standing here. Then you can come back to your band tool. Somehow, because it appears somehow brighter, you can use your band tool to make it appear like it's almost the same with the rest of the other areas. So once you do this, the brightness is reduced. The work of the band tool is to make it darker, and the environment, don't make it again to be so pronounced. So right now you may not know that there was an object, or there were some people standing, or there were some figures standing here. Then the other area, if you find like some whitish color was left on the other end, you can still use your patch tool. You can pick an environment like the other end. Now I'm supposed to use the other way around. So I'm supposed to select this area here and move it on the other end. Okay, choose the first, our first selection was okay. So you pick here, this area here, and then you move it to the other side. Yeah, so you can use all these tools. You can mix up spot healing brush, you can mix up, you can use also healing brush, you can use this clone stamp, like you want to duplicate an area. So for instance, here you want to duplicate, you want to make it really clear. So hold on your Alt key, pick that environment, rub it against this area here, and you realize that it's almost the same. We have overstretch on this other end. So make sure also you are keen or you are careful not to interfere with the objects that are next to each, or next to maybe what you want to get rid of or what you want to clear in that environment. You can use the spot healing brush and many other tools. Just a combination of different tools. So the second way was to use the patch tool, and you've already used the patch tool. So you can use your patch tool, like you have to select that area. So if I use another image, um, for instance, if I want to get rid of this house here, or something that is very clear, so let me zoom in. Oh, this one, it's so messed up. I can still open another image, like the same one we had. So I should reduce my size for the brush. It's too big. Okay, so let me open another image. Let me see. But I want to still use the same image. So it happens here. So you can use your patch tool, like I want this environment to be applied on this other end. So I can come back to my selection tool. Let me use the lasso tool because I want this around, sorry, um, around this area here. So your patch tool will help you to like move around. You either move to the left or to the right, and make sure you don't interfere with the objects next to what you want to get rid of or you want to clear, like what's going to happen here. So I have cleared this area, but now it appears darker. So you can use your brush, or you can still use your healing brush or spot healing brush to make it brighter or to make it appear like this other environment here. Maybe I can still open another document again to show you how to use the patch tool. Like this one here. So once you have selected your patch tool under the spot healing brush, then you can now select this area, like you want to get rid of this object here. But now it's going to be tricky in a way that you can see the other part of the sea is included. So you have to move keenly. You have to move very or in a keen way. See what's happening the other end. But no problem with that. You can still get rid of what you can. And then you can come back to the other section. You can still select this area. Then you can move it to the other end. And you see, like, it appears like there was no object here, but you see we have some spots here. So you can go back to your spot healing brush and try to get rid of the spots that were left behind. Just rub against it Yeah, but it's left like it's now. You can still pick another area. You can still use your clone stamp and pick like this environment should be the same as this environment. So you hold on your Alt key and pick this area here, and then you rub against this area here to appear like there was nothing before. So we didn't have any object here. Again, be careful not to uh, interfere with the objects that are near to it. Spot healing brush will help you to get rid of some spots there. Yes, the shade on the other end is cleared. Also, you can change the size of the brush. If you find like the brush is too small for you, you can change the size. Now, the other environment, to see what happens. So I can still use my front stamp. Hold again your front stamp, choose this environment, and then rub against the other environment. Still applies here again. So you make it like that until you come up with a perfect way, like there was nothing that was there before. So you try to clear all these areas, and just also be careful not to pick the other environments. So the third way was to use the clone stamp, and now I have shown you like all the tools on how to get rid of an object or what is on the background, or what is maybe what you do not want. Then also the other way is using the layer mask. The layer mask will help you to get rid of what is on the background. So let me use again the other object that we had. The reason, so let me undo. And we should have a copy of this. So you can drag down to your, or you can just click new, create. You can create a new layer so that you can, what you are working on cannot interfere with your original layer. So you can use your layer mask. Like you now select again these images you see here. So let's use our quick selection tool. You have to be careful again. Okay, so once you have selected, then what you can do is you come here where we have the layer mask, and with the layer mask, or this one helps you to get rid of what is on the background. So once you click and then you hide, like to remain with the other copy. This should get rid of what is on the background. Let me try to, yeah. So when you click, or when you get back to your original image, you find that your background has already been deleted. Let me create another new layer. Then you select again. This is the wrong way of selecting this image. So you go back to your quick selection tool. You need to be patient with this tool because It's fast, but again, it may give you some hard time. Okay, I don't think we're on the right layer. Also, when you're using the layers, ensure that the layer you are working with is active on the other end so that it doesn't give you some problems. There should be reducing. And here, and also part of this area. Okay, it's like I didn't select quite well, but the other way is using the layer mask where you can add a mask and meaning you can copy these images and maybe carry them elsewhere, or you get rid of what is on the background. So once you are done using the four ways, like the first way of getting rid of what is on the or unwanted projects or objects, let's say unwanted objects or maybe pictures. The first way is you use your content aware, whereby you find it on the under the edit menu. You go to fill and then you click on your content aware and make sure that the color adaptation is selected, and then you click OK. The second way is using the patch tool. Patch tool is here under the spot healing brush. So you select your patch tool and it's like you want to patch an area to another area. So you have to select and then you make that or the next environment look like there was nothing before there. And then you can also use the clone stamp. You play along with all these. Clone stamp is like duplicating. You're duplicating an area, or you maybe you removed an object and you want uh, another area to look like that area where you removed an object or you got rid of an object. So you can use your clone stamp, and for you to use that clone stamp, you really or you have to hold on your Alt key and you select that area. Then the other way is using the layer mask, which is at the bottom here. So once you click your layer mask or you create your vector mask on the image, then it will be good for you to or it will help you to get rid of what is on the background. And that is it for today. As you practice using these tools again, try to learn as much as you can. And I wish you all the best. And practice makes perfect. Thank you.